All right, welcome back. Now, when it comes to our next story, I want to talk to you guys about a preschool show by the name of The Tiny Chef Show. This is actually a popular preschool series on Nickelodeon that's basically about this little chef. And by the way, it is a stop motion live action hybrid. And of course, the main character, as insinuated, is a tiny chef. And his main role is to go and educate kids about food, rather it be about preparing food, about proper kitchen etiquette, or anything like that, like good nutrition as well. Tiny Chef is there to go and help teach kids that in his own fun and amusing way. And the thing is with the Tiny Chef Show, it actually is quite popular. Some people could even say that it is one of Nickelodeon's more successful. Oh, excuse me. Speaking of food. But as I was saying, some people could even say that it's one of Nickelodeon's most successful preschool programs out there, especially when from time to time, Tiny Chef would get a bunch of special guests to go and hang out with him. And also, it has received some accolades. It actually got some Annies and even some Emmys. However, a few days ago, Tiny Chef has actually made a unique announcement, or at least made an announcement in his own unique way. And instead of telling you right now what it is, I'm going to go and actually show you what this announcement is about. So let's just go and watch the video here.
Yes, but I know Tiny Chef here.
Yeah, that is quite unfortunate right there. So, yes, as Tiny Chef insinuated in that call, unfortunately, it looks like the Tiny Chef show has been canceled by Nickelodeon. Now, at this point, you might be wondering, though, why? Why is it that it ended up being canceled? Because with this video, it only said that it got canceled. It didn't explain what the reasons specifically are. Is it about Tiny Chef's behavior? Is it about Ruby's lack of training in the past? Is it anything like that? Well, no. It actually is more of the typical reasons why shows would get canceled, and it's because of maintenance costs. In fact, this is actually explained right over here in this Vulture article, where there's an interview here in which they talk to the creators, and specifically the article is called "How the Tiny Chef Creators Animated a Broken Heart" by Rebecca Alter, and she got a chance to go and talk to the creators. Specifically, there's Ozzy Akhturk and Rachel Larson, pretty much talking about what they went through when experiencing the cancellation and how things have been going from there, along with talking more about the Tiny Chef show. And the first question that was asked is, how have the past couple of days been like? So Ozzy would go and respond by saying here, "We didn't expect this kind of attention. It's wonderful. I'm monitoring the YouTube channel. Normally we have 50 or up to 100 comments, but this went over 1,000. People who didn't know Chef were coming from Twitter and BuzzFeed to see what's happening. A lot of people who have lost jobs can relate to his emotions, but we didn't expect to shake up so many." And then Rachel Larson stated, "We're super grateful. We're getting a new audience. A lot of people are saying, 'I just found you, but I want to support you.' It's resonating, which is all we care about with Chef. We want him to feel real. He's such a lovable, wholesome little fella. The stop motion is just a tool to give people permission to play along that he's real." And that's another thing I almost forgot to go and mention is that, of course, you guys aren't the first to go and check out this video. It actually went very viral all across social media, like on YouTube, on TikTok, on Facebook, and all that kind of stuff. It gathered a lot of attention, and a lot of it actually came from people who don't know the Tiny Chef show or have just heard about the Tiny Chef show. But that little video right there, it really resonated with them. But to go back to what I was talking about, specifically in regards to why it got canceled, it's actually in regards to this right over here. What was Nickelodeon's issue? And Rachel actually responded over here by saying, we're in a time where everyone's very risk averse. They see the price tag, and if it's too high, it's a pass. So much love is put into the Tiny Chef show. It's such a tactile process, making the clothes, the lighting, the set. There's no shortcut. You can't just click a mouse and be done. So, long story short of it is that it's maintenance cost. And with a show that is as unique as the Tiny Chef show, that it's not 2D where you could go and animate this on Toon Boom and stuff like that. It's not CG, it's stop motion. And often that requires its own unique set of maintenance to go and prepare the things, like in order to make the puppets, in order to make the sets, in order to make the costumes. Like there is a part of it that's kind of like live action, because what you see on, what you see on the screen is actually in front of the camera, just in a more different process that has to be animated frame by frame. And from there, with the Tiny Chef show, I guess Nickelodeon just doesn't really have the cost, or they don't really have the money anymore, especially with how things are with not just Nickelodeon, but with the parent company Paramount, where right now they are right smack in the middle of trying to go through this transition of being acquired by Skydance. So it is a very complicated time right now for Nickelodeon and for Paramount in general. So it would be expected that there would be these kinds of shakeups where some casualties in the form of some shows and movies and stuff like that, that ultimately have to be let go. And sadly, with Tiny Chef, that series has to be one of them. And it unfortunately sucks. And what's very special about this one, though, why this stands out, is that the animators and the team behind it, they're actually taking action and creatively express how they feel with this bit of news. Because normally with stuff like this, when you would hear a show being canceled and stuff like that, or when you hear directly from the creators or from the people behind the project, they would just go and make a lengthy post just to go and say that it's canceled. Thank you all so much for your support. We'll do our best to move on and stuff like that. They, normally the common reaction would be to go and actually make a response out of it. But never have we seen someone animate the announcement, like do a unique, do this kind of unique way where they would use their craft in order to go and tell people that it is canceled, or especially to go and present it in such a heartbreaking way. Because I will say that little video in itself, yeah, it really does pack an emotional punch and actually does highlight how it does feel when you feel like you're in the top of the game and then suddenly everything is just let go. Like, it could be just gone in an instant. And again, just like that, it could just be like, it's over, it's done. Now you have to reconsider your life from there and like completely reshape it up. It's a position that nobody wants to be. And it's like one of the most unfortunate moments that you can go and experience in life, that it can be pretty common. Sometimes getting fired from a job, it's not fun. It's not pleasant. And it could be heartbreaking where now you're suddenly faced with this massive obstacle in life. And from there, the team behind it, they're still continuing to go and make some videos related to Tiny Chef and just showing how things are with how the character is coping with losing his show, with no longer being on Nickelodeon and stuff like that. So from there, they're still working on Tiny Chef. They're still showing how things are with the character. And, there is some heartbreaking moments, but at the same time, we are seeing with the viral nature of the announcement, there is that silver lining, especially with the fact that it got so much mainstream attention, and even mentioning how they even got support from major celebrities. Because again, you got to keep in mind that with the Tiny Chef show, from time to time, they would often bring in some special guests. And even in this article, they would even mention that they've gotten support from celebrities. There's even like one over here. Have you heard anything from the celebrity friends of Chef in the past couple of days? Like one of them being Florence Pugh being a big fan, and she reposted the video. There's also Melissa McCarthy showing her love. And these are people we totally admire and love, and Chef is a fan of. And A24 just messaged us. And not to mention that when you do go to social media, like if you go to the TikTok video, for example, then at that point, you'll see a bunch of companies also messaging Tiny Chef showing their support. But there is one thing, however, that I want to go and do with you all, and that is to give you a little bit of a taste of how Tiny Chef can usually be. So I decided to go and check out the YouTube channel of Tiny Chef, because he does have, because there is actually a Tiny Chef YouTube channel filled with some videos, and there can be some that have a decent length, like some 5-minute videos showing some little adventures of Tiny Chef. But also, what I want to do is present to you a little video that can be like a good example to get you a bit familiar. So why don't we go and actually check out this one right over here that's called Apple Pie. Just to, again, have our taste of Little Chef, be familiar with what the show is about, and then we could go from there. I guess after this vitamin water commercial that we have here. So hold on a sec. We're gonna get there. Oh, fudge! It's one of the longer commercials. All right, it's done. All right, so let's go and check out this little piece of the Tiny Chef show. So that was the apple pie clip of the Tiny Chef show. So you can see a little bit of that ASMR aspect of creating tiny foods over there, and seeing the little guy doing what he can to go and make his recipes in a real kitchen, getting the flour, getting the ground cinnamon, cutting the apples, getting the sugar, and all that kind of stuff with cute little music that would be on the side. So again, that's just to go and help you out and give you a little bit of an idea, or just to have you be familiar with who the Tiny Chef is in the first place. And again, you could go and check out the Tiny Chef show on YouTube or on other places on social media. There are plenty of other examples that you could go and see if you want to go and check out the Tiny Chef show. So now at this point, now that we are a little bit more familiar with Tiny Chef, some of you might be wondering, now that it is canceled, is there anything that you could go that you can do to go and help? Well, the answer to that is yes, actually. You can actually help out Tiny Chef in his current state of misfortune. And that is if you go on his website, specifically thetinychefshow.com. And from there, you can actually go and either be part of his fan club, or as he calls it, his fan quub. And from there, it works similarly to Patreon, in which it is a monthly subscription, and you can go and get a bunch of rewards. But then at the same time, you could go and also make a one-time donation, where you can either donate through Venmo or PayPal and just give it to Tiny Chef. And I'll even add an extra piece of silver lining in this case, where apparently the donations have so far been very successful. Because going back into the Vulture article, they have even mentioned that the amount that they have gotten so far, it's actually very good. I just need to go and find it. So when asked about how the fundraising is going, again, Rachel responded that It's awesome. We're about $60,000 from one-time donations, then around 5,000 fan club members, so around 20,000 from that. We didn't expect that, and it's still coming in. If we could get our overhead covered, my God, we would be in hog heaven. And any money that comes in, we reinvested into this, so fans will see it. And keep in mind, this Vulture article, it's already a few days old. So it is, let's see, it's from June 27th. So it's already been like a few days, like about 3 days since I have recorded this. So from there, I could imagine that in the case of Tiny Chef and the donations that it's getting, I'm sure that right now it's already has exceeded above 80,000, and maybe it would already reach 100,000 at this point. But yes, again, if you want to go and support Tiny Chef, all you have to do is go to thetinychefshow.com, and you can either be a member of the fan club or the fan club, or you could just do a one-time donation through Venmo and PayPal. And maybe someday, who knows, maybe we could see it be like Sesame Street, and there's going to be another platform that will step in, or another network that can go and give Tiny Chef a second chance. But ultimately, we'll have to wait and see with how the fate of Tiny Chef is going to be. Excuse me for a sec. Oh, excuse me. Just need to let that out of the way. But anyways, with that said now, I would like to go and pass this on to the chat wall. And I'd like to ask you all, how do you feel about the news related to Tiny Chef? Are you familiar with the Tiny Chef show? If you are a fan, I'd love to hear your thoughts about it. How do you feel about the announcement that it is canceled? How do you feel about the current situation with Tiny Chef? Let me know what you all think of this. All right, let's see. Oh boy, the chat is flooding in. All right. Poor Tiny Chef. He looks very passionate about what he did for his show, and Nickelodeon should be proud of it getting SpongeBob popularity. But nope, I feel bad for Tiny Chef here. That I can relate so much with him. I feel like maintenance costs has always been a major issue happening in the film and television industry, and I do blame Paramount for not properly managing their financial situation. And now with the Skydance, well, it's not Skydance merch, but the Skydance combo, it could be worse. All right, let's see now. Well, I haven't watched the Tiny Chef show myself, but from what I've heard, it is very charming. So it's really unfortunate and sad that the show was canceled. And I definitely feel really bad for Tiny Chef and the people behind the show. And it's just really unfortunate. The Skydance merger, the merger, okay, it's not the merch, the merger, really caused it to be canceled, and not just Nickelodeon. Then again, what else do you expect from the network that only values SpongeBob and treats all of their other shows like dirt? Okay, well, I just want to go and say this right now. It's not directly linked to the Skydance merger here. It's not because of Skydance that it got canceled. I was just saying that because of the current situation that Nickelodeon and Paramount is in, that they are in the middle of a complex transition that could play a factor onto the cancellation or the decision to go and cancel the Tiny Chef show. I'm not saying that it is the reason, but I'm just saying that it might play a factor. All right, so let's see what else we got. I've never heard nor watched the Tiny Chef show, but seeing this breaks my heart. But according to Valesky Bum's video, maybe we could save Tiny Chef. I feel bad for the animators because it looks like they worked really hard on this project they made. Maybe I'll give the show a watch, even though I'm an adult. But hey, if adults like Bluey so much, then maybe we can give Tiny Chef a try. Does anyone want to give Tiny Chef a hug? I know I would, because he deserves it. Well, I mean, like, I literally just pointed out to you how you could go and help save Tiny Chef. Like, it's not just Valesky Bum, you know? Like, I literally just did it right over here. Like, were you listening to what I was talking about? Anyways, let's see right over here. Deeply from a comment on Instagram, I want to know, where was this support when Disney was canceling their recent shows, and let alone Muppet Vision 3D? Anyways, that video was really touching. It got to me, and I've never watched this series, let alone other Nickelodeon shows that ain't SpongeBob or recently Wild Park. And yet, I can say this looks like a fun, almost in the style of Bluey revolving around baking. I could see this like a major comeback story from this if it all goes well. I mean, let's all hope, like, maybe there could be a comeback story to Tiny Chef and all this. Anyways, any other comments to go and read? Let's see. Okay, maybe not that one. Or, yeah, you know what? I'll do it. This is a kitchen nightmare I never watched, the Tiny Chef show, but I have heard the news on Twitter and then later watched the video on YouTube. I feel so bad for the little dude, thanks to how the show was canceled because of it being too ambitious for Nickelodeon. That and that Paramount merger standards. If we have enough support for the young dude, you bet it will result in the crew to cook up some more episodes. All right. Let's see any other comments to go and read. I never heard of Tiny Chef, much like everyone else, but I know a lot of people have seen the viral video because it's canceled, so hopefully everyone can donate it as much as they could. But one question remains, does Nickelodeon retain the rights? I mean, if a show has that main brand of a company and now it's being canceled, does it technically own the company or does it go to a third party? That is a good question, and I don't think I can go and answer that. I think that's going to be specifically in terms of the creators, if they negotiated a deal or something. Because I know that with Tiny Chef, it actually started as just a series of internet videos, and then it was picked up by Nickelodeon. So I'm not 100% sure if Nickelodeon owns the rights to the Tiny Chef show. But I guess that's going to be like another subject altogether. So we'll see. But then again, I will say, though, that if they are still able to go and make more videos of the Tiny Chef show, even after Nickelodeon, then maybe the creators do have some rights to play with the Tiny Chef character. So I don't know. I guess we'll see how that goes from there. But I don't think I could be in a position where I could fully answer that question. All right, I think I'll go and read one more comment before we move on to our next break. Let's see now. Yet another Nickelodeon show has died by the hands of the sponge. It's a shame because the Tiny Chef show, with what little I've seen of it, was rather entertaining. It really goes to show you that Nickelodeon is where promising shows go to die. The Loud House surviving more than one season is nothing less than a miracle. Honestly, this could have been a Disney Junior show. At least they appreciate their preschool shows. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if Disney Plus saved it. Well, I guess ultimately we'll have to wait and see. Maybe Tiny Chef is going to go fully independent and just have their own platform on social media without any of the big companies to go and network it. Or maybe there's going to be one of them who will go and pick it up and to go and save it, kind of like what we have recently seen with Sesame Street. But at the end of the day, we're just going to have to wait and see. But for now, if you want to go and support Tiny Chef, then all you have to do is go to the tinychefshow.com and either be part of his fan club or go make a donation through Venmo and on PayPal.